Ethan, let me give a little bio on Ethan here because he's a pretty amazing dude. He was born and raised in Utah. Ethan considers himself a secular Mormon passionate about truth. A cybersecurity engineer by trade, he currently oversees all technical operations of the Truth and Transparency Foundation, which operates the sites Mormon Leaks and Faith Leaks. He believes strongly that greater empathy and understanding can be achieved through listening to and shared lived experiences. He has a bachelor's degree in information technology from Utah Valley University and blogs at egd.io. And he was a Mormon, deconverted, obviously. And just so you know how famous you are, I have a friend whom I've known since we were both in diapers.
Okay.
She's super religious. I'm not. Marianne, if you're watching, hi. Because she said she wanted to watch this show. She lives in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
And she has told me through the years how much the Mormon Church is the government there.
Oh, yeah.
Just simply is. And you will meet no person more motivated to work for separation of church and state than she.
Oh,
because
cool.
she has seen firsthand what happens when one particular religion gets hold of the state. So,
nice.
And she had heard of you.
Okay.
And she knew about you. She was like, "Oh, that's a big deal." I was like, "Yeah." So,
well, she's going to be very interested in an initiative that we're launching this week then. So.
right on. Cool. What is that initiative?
We are, and we'll put, I mean, I could get into this a little bit more if we start talking about the stuff that we've released around sexual assault, but we are...
I'm not hearing Ethan.
Hello?
There.
I'll talk more into the mic here. So there are a number of states that have mandatory reporting laws, but also a number of those states when it comes to child abuse. So if somebody hears about child abuse, they are required to report it to the authorities. However, in many of those states, there is an exemption for clergy, and Utah is one of those. However, I will preface it is only an exemption if the perpetrator comes and confesses to a member of the clergy, rather than if the survivor comes and confesses, the member of the clergy is required to report. But for whatever reason, Utah state law, if it is the perpetrator of said abuse, the clergy, they are not obligated to report it. Excuse me. We are going to make a push to change that.
Right.
So you're saying that anybody else that gets a report like that is required?
I believe in Utah, it's healthcare professionals and educational professionals, but we want to make it to anybody, yeah.
Yeah, I think it should probably be anybody.
In the state of Texas, it is anybody.
I'd be willing to listen to, arguments about why that may or may not be. Sometimes things can be counterintuitive, but I would think that I'd be willing to hear, an argument for everybody having to report that.
I completely agree, and it's a little ironic because Texas is often viewed as a very, very religious state. However, they have one of the best mandatory reporting laws, and they require everybody, if they catch wind of child abuse, whether it's from the perpetrator, the survivor, or somebody else, they need to report it to the authorities. Anybody, doesn't matter who you are.
Right on.
Right.
Yeah. And I want to mention here just briefly, Jan Heimlich, who founded the Child Friendly Faith Project. Mm-hmm. She is a good resource for that. If you want to know more about religious child maltreatment, find her book, look up her organization, Child Friendly Faith Project. She does amazing stuff.